Person 105, first off, I don't know. I feel so much wisdom already coming from your records. Just how it's engaging with my process. I don't know if I'm going scatterbrain this morning trying to connect in, or if it's your energy connecting with me already very early in my process, but so many things in my process changed, and I felt like I took a lot of the energy a lot more clearly than I typically do. So I have to attribute that to you and probably you in this life in this time. And so when your energy manifests onto the Rainbow Road, I start hearing Christina Aguilera's song Genie in a Bottle, and then I see this like Aladdin's lamp start to fall down towards the Rainbow Road, and I see this hand, and I'm trying to gauge who you are, if you're the genie or if you're the hand, and then I see that the hand manifests into a person, and I'm getting that this is you, and you're rubbing the lamp to try and get the genie to come out. And the genie comes out, and he turns into like the three genies. I think of more of like an Indian culture, and it's like the three blue genies, and he's like swirling around you, and I actually start getting dizzy as he's like swirling around you, and he starts saying this like rhyme, and I actually started recording earlier than I usually do because I wanted to get the part of the rhyme I'm remembering. And he says, remember that wishes you have three. You cannot wish for love, you cannot wish for death, and you cannot wish for what you do not see. So make sure, insert your first name here, that you are clear on what you wish for, because wishes you only have three. And he's saying this over and over, and it's pretty crazy. So from here, you look at the genie and you say, I wish for life, genie. I wish for my life. I wish for a life in which I can see. I wish for a destiny that is truly me. So your whole thing's rhyming, by the way. And you say, I wish for the path, the destiny that is most clear. I wish for something that is very clear, and a path that I can see. Please, genie, bestow this upon me. So then the genie turns around and basically like poofs this vision in front of you. And I see this like Noah's Ark barn stable kind of a procession of animals, and he says, look with your eyes, insert your first name, look so that you can see there's two of every kind here, and what they need is your healing to be set free. And so he's showing you these animals, and I see you now walking down this line of animals, and you're reaching out your left and your right hand and touching all of these animals as you walk by, and then you get to the very end. And by the way, I'm doing this really different than any other reading, so I'm pausing after everything I get because I'm trying to remember exactly what he says in the rhyming tone. So I'm pausing and restarting and pausing and restarting. So if it sounds choppy, that's why. So the next part is... So I'm definitely not going to be able to repeat this next part verbatim. Oh my god, you guys, we're going back and forth rhyming, and it's like mind-blowing to me. So basically you're looking at the genie and you're like, why, genie? This isn't me. This isn't something that I can see. This isn't a part of my path. I don't know what you mean. How do these animals need to be set free or something? And then the genie's like, he looks at you and he says your first name, and he says, and he's holding your back, and he turns you around and he says, this is a part of your greatest destiny. This is what you asked for me to. So I don't know. It was all rhyming. So he's like, this is what you asked of me. Once you're able to lift the veil, this is something that you will see. This is a world amongst your world, and this is something that you're divinely aligned to. And basically that this is a part of your process, and something that you asked for. And when you're ready, that the veil will be lifted, and all of this kind of hidden world, and I'm assuming it's pertaining to the animals, is going to be revealed to you, and these animals are going to be drawn to you because of your energy and your light. And he kept saying 2 by 2, 2 by 2. And that you're going to be able to help set them free. But this is a part of your process, and you have to want to see. And so you then look at the genie and you say, I'm ready for my next wish, genie. Can you make it be? And he says, of course, your first name. I'll help you to see. And so you say, that's my wish. I want I want this to come true. I want the veil to be lifted so that I can see into this world, and that this healing can begin to take place for these animals, and these and allowing them to be set free. The genie says, are you ready? Insert your first name. Are you ready to see? Because all you have to do is know that this world is not inhabited by only thee. This world is a place that many come to dwell, and you are simply one. So as soon as you recognize that this world is shared by everyone, and it's not just the version of the human existence that you were taught, but that all beings reside here, and all you have to do is open up to that thought. And then he, like, basically it's almost like he's pushing buttons on the left temple and the right temple, and it's almost like a motorcycle cop, like that screen that's over their helmet gets lifted from over your eyes, and it's almost like you now can see through the dimensions. So the two of you are in this prairie, and you basically say, okay, genie, I'm ready to see. So why is it that I can only see you and me? Why is this prairie empty? Why is there nothing here? And he looks at you, and he says, this is the part of your process that only you can do. By holding your energy and drawing upon more light in your body, the animals will come 2 by 2. And so he's basically saying that this is as far as he can take you in this journey, and that he's kind of giving you the gifts that you need to proceed, but that the next part, I feel like the next component is going to be you raising your frequency, raising your light to be that pillar, so that the energies of the animals can start being drawn to you. Oh my gosh, this rhyming is insane, and I'm not going to be able to convey it. So now you say, genie, I have but a third wish. Is it okay to proceed? And the genie's saying, of course, your first name. This is your destiny or something, and basically what happens then, you ask that you want the whole world to be able to have this veil lifted so that they too can see. And the genie turns to you and says, unfortunately, your first name, this is not something that we can do. Basically, the world has to choose this as a part of their understanding, and that's not something that we can force upon them if they're not ready to see clearly. And that this is something that you can do, is to teach those around you from what you see. And you said, okay then, genie, if that's how it has to happen, then my third wish I'd like to use, and I want to make sure that in my path, in my timeline, or in my life, this life's timeline, I want it to be my destiny that I will teach those around me from which I see. And so you're asking the genie to basically make sure that in your timeline, in this life's timeline, that you have the energy, the motivation to continue to teach the people around you from what you learn and from what you see. Basically because the veil, or this cover, this blindness to the world, and especially I think the animal realm, is being lifted from your vision. And so it's like you're asking him, make sure that I continue to have the motivation and the passion to teach and continue to teach those around me, so that even though you can't force them to see clearly, that in this animal realm and through the veils, the different dimensions, that you will have the motivation and passion to do that as you learn. And so it seems like you're asking to be a teacher in this lifetime, and to be able to teach people, to be able to higher their frequency and their light and their understanding of the shared earth that we have. So you now look at the genie and you say, so I know my wishes are gone, genie. I know I only had 3. Is this the time in which you're going to be leaving me? And your genie looks at you and says, this is this is only how I came to you today. I need you to know that I'm here with you always. I am not what you call a genie, but I'm your most divine and loving guide. Anytime you need me, just call out to me by name. I didn't get a name, but he said just call out to me by name, and then I imposed the visual image of him. And literally, I've seen this in like books or texts. It's the Indian version of like the genie, and it's like these 3 blue genies, I think, or I'll have to look. Maybe I can find it and put it on your page. But I was asking if the visual image could also call him to you, and it was a big okay. So, and I'm sure if you call on this guide that you'll get the name pretty instantly if you don't know it already. But he was saying that I'm always around you, and we'll do this together. You and I, we've chosen to partner together in this lifetime to help to lift the veil on that of the animal kingdom, and seeing kind of clearly how everybody inhabits the earth, and it's a shared kind of domain, and that energy needs to be kind of maintained. And so it seems like the two of you have decided to partner together to really bring awareness. And so I think for teaching, that this guide is going to be with you always when you're working with the animals, or learning more about the animal powers, or whatever it is. So just know that this guide is always there, and basically asking you to just call on him, and he'll be there to help supply you with whatever it is that you need to move forward in this kind of part of your divine purpose. So the next thing I see is you move towards the wooden door frame that represents the portal that kind of moves to the next phase of the story. And as you jump through, I immediately know what's going to happen. You jump right into the heart chakra. And so this shows me kind of where you are aligned in your own body and chakras and energetic system right now. And you jump right into the heart chakra, and you pull down the white light from the crown chakra into the heart chakra, and it becomes this like it's almost like the Saturn rings, like it's these white rings around you, which is the total epitome of a teacher in this lifetime. So this is something teachers are taught. You pull down the white light, you send out the white light through your heart, and you can affect, tens to hundreds to thousands of people around you. And so just seeing this confirms that you're destined to be a teacher. I would have to assume as part of your kind of spiritual destiny in this lifetime. And so I see you move right on to the next vision, which is moving up to your Akashic records. And I've seen these records before for 2 other people, and it represents a shepherd to animals. And I see Noah's Ark, and it's docked up on it's got like a wooden, ramp docked up on like a grassy hill in the water. And you walk right up the ramp, and the ramp closes behind you. And now you're in this big boat with all of these animals around you. And you walk right into the middle, you sit down, and you're almost wearing like robes, like kind of like Jesus is depicted, like those white kind of flowy robes. And you sit right down in the middle of all of these stalls of animals, and you start humming. And sorry for this connection, but I think it's important. I get the humming. It's the exact tone from the Lord of the Rings, the very last movie, at the very end of the movie, when all the battle's done, and I think his name's Aragon, the king now is he's like standing on top of the I don't know, castle or whatever it is, and all the people who had fought in the war are there, and he starts singing this song, and it's that very first note is what popped into my head. It's like this low, deep hum in the back of the throat, and it's just it like resonated. It resonated through my body, and as you started humming this exact tone, I saw this energy swirl around you and all of the animals, and it was like this humming, this tone you were producing basically united the frequency of you and all of the animals. And so I think this is important if you do begin to work with animals and trying to get on the resonance level of them and their frequency. I don't know, but I think this hum, this tone has something to do with it. Whatever this vibration is, it was very connecting to your energy and the animal's energy. And so I see this like swirl of energy kind of just going around all of you. And so I call down your higher self, and your higher self comes down. Your higher self comes right down and basically embodies the physical body that you're in. And I see you as the physical body with your head down humming, but I see this ghost of your higher self's face look up at me and say, we're right where we need to be. This message was received, and we're right where we need to be. Thank you. And so I think that says it all. I would have to assume most people, I don't know if they're going to get the messages that come through, but from your higher self embodying right into your physical self, and then looking at me and saying, we're right where we need to be, we got it, we got the message. I would have to assume that this probably is going to resonate with you completely. So I would hope so, with light and love.